Lyney is here, and I wanted to make this video because I've seen a lot of Lyney slander. People saying that he's really not that great, and I'm not gonna lie to you, he's probably my second favorite pyro DPS behind Hu Tao. So let's go over Homie real quick. Unfortunately, I lost my 50-50 to Gene. I know I suck. I will get him though, hopefully Monday when I get paid. So the trial version is not too bad. It's not too good either. It is what it is, pretty middle of the road. 71 over 152. That's horrendous. It does have Lyney's signature bow at level 80. That is also really great. C0, of course, and 888. What I like about this character a lot is the fact that, unlike Yoimiya, you can really just kind of rely on the charged attacks. So let's get into it. So Lyney's kit really pretty much only revolves around charge attacks. However, normal attacks look kind of fire. You're not going to use them, but it's just cool. Like, aesthetically, it's cool. This is how the character works. There's the two charges. You see two charges just like Ganyu. When you fire with the first charge, you're only shooting the fire arrow. That's it. It is what it is. When you fire with the second charge, you're shooting the arrow itself. That little homie's gonna pop out and explode, and then a sword is dropping down at will. So you get pretty much different types of pyro damage. Now next to me I have a counter of 1. If you can see, when I'm charging and I shoot the bow, I lose health. And you only lose health when you actually shoot. Now I have a counter of 2. So this is the stacks for Lyney, and you can pretty much use these stacks to increase your pyro damage. When you use your F, bam, stacks are gone, you gain health back. Stacks can go up to 5, but you're only able to gain stacks if your HP is over a certain percent. And so here, let's show you. So I'm gonna just get my stacks out. I'm gonna save pretty much everything for the final boss. So here, I'm gonna heal with Kuki because I'm less than 60%. I can't get any more stacks. We're now at 4. Bam. Now we're at 5. Bam. We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna burst, and then the burst comes out. Bam. That is the main combo right there. You get the stacks to high as possible, preferably 5. You then after that do the charge shot, let the little cat in the hat drop on the floor, hit the skill, big boom, big explosion. With your 5 stacks, you now get your health back, and then you burst. You run into the enemy because your burst is going to give you 1 hit per enemy that you pretty much run into, and then you explode, and bam, massive DPS. So let's go over some information about the character. Now, I understand why people are skipping for this character. I mean, the drip marketing for the upcoming banners next patch are crazy, so I get that. But this character really relies heavily on having 2 to 3 other pyro characters in your party, and a character like Yoimiya, where you really could just have Zincho or Yelan, and then you could fill the other 2 spots. It's a more versatile team. What happens if you bring this character into a level 12 Abyss and there's pyro shields all over the place and you only have Zincho, or whoever the case may be? You're screwed. You're screwed. Like, you can't do anything. It is what it is. But with that being said, I like the play style and I like the kind of nicheness to it, which I normally don't enjoy in the game, but I really like this for some reason. So look, here's the deal. So the charge attacks, again, there's the 2 levels. As we saw, the first level, simply just a regular pyro shot. The second level is where you get the Grim Malkin hat, and then as well on top, you get the stack and the little sword that drops down. Now, as we said before, when Lyney has more than 60% HP, he will consume a portion of his HP to obtain 1 prop surplus stacks, max 5 stacks. Now, why is that important? Is because with the more stacks you have, the more damage you'll do. The skill, a normal attack in front of you, but it also blows up the Malkin hat if it's on the field. So for example, nothing's on the field, that's there. But if I were to shoot, and then there's an enemy here, drop this hat in front of me, now double the explosion. Double the explosion because you have the regular ability from the elemental skill, and then also the Malkin hat that's on the floor. And then the burst is a little unique. I can also kind of see why you maybe don't enjoy the burst, because it is weird. You know, you're a cat in a hat, like, I mean, whatever, but I think it's funny. I think it's funny, and I think it's cute, and it's whatever. So when the Grim Malkin hat gets close to opponents, it will send flames falling down on them, dealing at most 1 instance of pyro damage to each opponent. When the duration ends, he will dismiss the Grim Malkin cat and ignite fireworks that deal 1 AoE pyro damage, summon 1 Grim Malkin hat, and grant himself 1 prop surplus stack. So the play style is get as much stacks as possible, explode these stacks, explode the Grim Malkin hat on the field with your elemental skill, and then burst, hit the target with your actual burst, you know, the cat animation, and then explode on the target. Here is why people are very hesitant to roll for the character and where the kind of pitch and holding of the build comes in. This talent right here. So the damage Lyney deals to opponents affected by pyro receive the following buffs. Increased damage dealt by 60%. That's normal, whatever. Each pyro party member other than Lyney will cause the damage dealt to increase by an additional 20%. Lyney can deal up to 100% increased damage to opponents affected by pyro in this way. This is where you get massive DPS from having multiple pyro characters on here. Yeah, man, I just feel like there's been a lot of unnecessary slander for this character. It's not a bad character. It's just a very niche playstyle that I could see people not liking. Again, I could see someone rolling for Yoimiya over Lyney. I personally don't like Yoimiya's playstyle. I feel like she's useless. Her ult does nothing, and then if I'm out of the elemental burst or the elemental skill, I just sit there and wait. With this character, I don't have to rely on that. I can still do my charge attacks and do a decent amount of damage. Now, here's what's going on with the constellations. The constellations are a little interesting. And they can have 2 Grinmelkin hats present at once. Additionally, prop arrows will summon 2 Grinmelkin hats and grant Lyney 1 extra stack of prop surplus. This effect can occur once every 15 seconds. This is good, nothing bad here. When Lyney is on field, he will gain a stack of crisp focus every 2 seconds. Each stack will increase his crit damage by 20%. Max 3 stacks. This effect will be canceled when Lyney leaves the field. They're really honing in on being a main pyro DPS with these constellations so far. 3. Increase the level of normal attack. Card force translocation by 3. It's cool. C3 is alright. C4, after an opponent is hit by Lyney's pyro charge attack, this opponent's pyro res will be decreased by 20% for 6 seconds. I mean, they're, again, same thing. C5 is cool. And then C6, when the Lyney fires a prop arrow, he will fire a pyrotechnic strike reprise that will deal 80% of the pyrotechnic strike damage. This damage is considered charge attack damage. Constellations are not bad. They're pretty good. I would not roll for constellations. I personally think if you're going to go for this character and you have extra pulls, it's probably more worth it to go for the weapon itself. The weapon is just absolutely cracked. The weapon is stupid. I mean, this is insane. I mean, it's just stacks and stacks and stacks, and you're doing tons of damage. It rolls with a base attack of 532 and crit damage of 680.3 at level 80. Absolutely insane, you know? So overall, I think it's a great character. Can this character pretty much get zoned out of a bunch of comps, a bunch of content, if there's pyro shields and you pretty much have nothing to combat it with? Yes. But then that's why you use this for bosses and activities that don't have that problem. So I don't know. I don't mind it. I think this is cool. It's a different character, and that's what I wanted. I wanted something different. Really good thing that I like is that at C0, this character is still valuable and it's still good. So, and their weapon is cracked. I mean, I don't know what more you could ask for. I know why people are saving. I get it. Some people think Lynette is better. I think Lynette is a overall better universal unit. Lynette is not going to be a main DPS, but Lynette can be put into many more team comps. And while Lynette is kind of more I also don't know if I would use Lynette with Lynette, truthfully. But still, overall, I think it's a W. So with that being said, let me know what you think. Are you rolling for homie, or if you're not? And I love you. I'm out.